Most of our entertainment nowadays is done either through a laptop, through TV, or watching our phones. TikTok and YouTube and social media are excellent examples of this. In most people I talk to, they feel like their brain goes into a passive mode and that they just kind of sit there and scroll through what they think is funny and sometimes laugh every once in a while and just keep scrolling and turn their brains off. So what would happen if all of that went away? What would happen if there was a zombie apocalypse or an electronic death and you were forced to have fun outside? In the case of an electronic death, or if a major world catastrophe happened and we weren't able to access our electronic devices, many people would not know what to do with their free time. So today I'm going to be showing you a few things that you can do with your free time outside and not using any electronic devices. The first activity I'm going to be showing you how to do is skipping rocks. There is a very specific methodology you're going to want to do when learning to skip rocks, and skipping rocks in general. So I'm going to show you what to look for, and I hope that you can pick it up. First of all, collecting your rocks is a really important part of skipping rocks. I don't have perfect ones here, but you want to try to first choose rocks that are really smooth, round, and that don't have jagged edges. This is good because it has a smooth bottom and is spherical, but the top isn't great because it has all these divots in it. So I'm assuming what's going to happen is that when it goes on top of the water, it's going to go fine, but when it goes under the water, it's going to be dragged under. That's just my theory. So I'm going to show you what happens when I skip this. Yeah, this one is okay, but not ideal because it is horizontally shaped and isn't perfectly round, but I've skipped ones like this before and they've worked okay. Still not what you should be looking for, but it might work. Okay, we got one skip out of that one. I think this one's gonna work a lot better. So I'm gonna use this one to describe how you should skip a rock. The first thing you're gonna wanna pay attention to is the movement of your arm. If you're right-handed, you're gonna wanna be having the body of water to your left. If you're left-handed, the body of water should be to your right. Move your arm like it's a whip and make sure that your hand goes back and starts spinning the rock at the last second. To hold the rock, you have your middle finger out, supporting the rock from underneath. You have your pointer finger on top and you have your thumb stabilizing it. This is the initial position. And then when you throw it, it should be rolling off of your index finger and spinning as you throw it. And that's what the brisk movement backwards should be about. Make sure that you get down so that the rock is as close to parallel to the body of water as possible, because if you just throw it straight down, it's just gonna plummet and not do anything. And we'll see how well I do while holding a bunch of rocks in my left hand. That was okay. Next, I'm going to be showing you what a good form looks like and what happens when you successfully skip a rock. Another fantastic idea without any electronics is to take a walk and observe nature, such as sniffing flowers. Oh look, there's some flowers there. Let's go sniff them. One thing to be careful about when you're sniffing flowers is to make sure that there aren't any insects like bees or things that will hurt you. To sniff these flowers, you would first want to remove all the air from your lungs by breathing out. You will then want to take the stem of the flower in your hand, move your nose towards the flower, and inhale deeply. After sniffing the flower, you will look upon the rest of your day with a positive outlook. Another thing you might do while observing nature, observe leaves and trees. To observe trees and nature, start by observing leaves and looking at trees that you pass by. Fall is an especially good time to do this because the trees change colors and create lots of different fiery colors you can look at. If you look here, you'll see that there's a tiny little insect that I wouldn't have noticed if I had not observed this tree. If you find an evergreen tree like this, you'll notice it has needles and pine cones. If you inspect these pine cones, you'll see that all of them are different, and if you look closely at the back, you'll notice that there's a spiral pattern going down the pine cone in a circle like that. Very mesmerizing. Additionally, once you have these pine cones, you can take pictures of them with the phone that you don't have, and it will tell you what kind of pine cone it is. There's lots of classification of different trees and leaves and pine cones, so if you look them up in a nature book, you will be able to find out which ones they are and have fun with that. Assuming that you still have the world of classic literature in front of you, one other thing that you can do outside that isn't on any electronics is read. You might notice here that I have a book by Edgar Allan Poe. Since you will have probably all the time in the world and you will be assuming that everyone else is dead, you will have a lot of time to read about classic works and have fun with that. Another place to read a book is in a tree. Being in a tree while reading is a very fun experience and can be extremely relaxing. Having a good book, having it be completely quiet, the sun shining down on you, and the wind blowing is an extremely meditative experience. First, what you'll want to do is pick a tree that looks easy to get off of and that you can reach where you are going to be sitting. I plan to be sitting right about there. You'll have to be willing to get dirty to do this. I'm going to put both my arms around the tree and climb up it with my legs. The important part is using your arms to support yourself and your legs to do the actual work of climbing, because your legs are much stronger than your arms, and your arms are good at doing exactly that. Now I'm in a tree, but unfortunately, I left my book at the ground. Too bad that everybody's dead, and now I have to go down and get my book. Oh, thank you. The last non-electronical recreational activity is to have sports. Now, using a simple ball, you can play a game with yourself where you throw a ball against the wall and try to catch it. If you have another person, which you don't have, you can also throw a ball against the wall. Oh, look, there's a person. Hey, you, try to catch this ball. Oh, you didn't do it, you lose. And that's how you play sports.
It's in my hand.
Yeah, that's how you play sports.
It's in my hand.
And that's how sports work.
It's in my hand.
In elementary school, we played this game called wall ball, where you would throw it on the ground, it would bounce off the wall, and then you had to catch the ball before it hit the ground again. And then you would take that and throw it and just do it again and again.
So you bounce it off and then catch it as it comes off without it hitting the ground.
Exactly.
What happens if it does hit the ground? Are you like out, or you're just like booed? Too bad I don't exist because I caught it. Boo.
Thank you for watching my presentation. In review, you learned how to skip rocks, have fun walking and reading outside, and play sports with your non-existent radioactive friend. I hope you found this presentation important, and I hope that you have the opportunity to apply these skills in the near future. Thank you.